Chapter 9. Let's check it out. Although it may seem like common sense to anyone who has ever learned something new or developed a skill, the idea that the brain can change has become fashionable in recent years. Neuroplasticity refers to the brain's ability to change and reorganize throughout the life of an individual. The ability to adapt to changing conditions has always been crucial to our survival. So this capacity has been hardwired into the mind of all higher life forms. You can build new neural pathways and reinforce or diminish old ones through learning, conditioning, and practice. In fact, it would be impossible to prevent the modification of your mind. Everything you do or experience alters your mind. Even sharing pictures of your food is a form of practice that will strengthen the connections between certain neurons at the expense of others. Multilinguists, professional musicians, and academics with encyclopedic knowledge are living proof of the incredible human capacity for neuroplasticity. Exercises. Number 1. The artificial light at night prolongs the day. Urban songbirds singing in the morning start singing earlier than songbirds of the same species in forest areas. David Dominoni and his team of international scientists and researchers were able to determine a difference of 17 to 29 minutes. The exact effects of this behavior are still relatively unknown at the present time. On the one hand, observations made by the Max Planck Institute suggest that prolonging the day and singing early, the chance of mating and the time frame to go looking for food are increased. On the other hand, there is speculation that the danger of becoming prey also increases accordingly. In addition, prolonged daily activities can have a negative effect on the bird's physical condition, and thus also on the quality of the singing. As a result, the search for a reproductive partner becomes more difficult due to a lack of vocal attractiveness, i.e., weakened birdsong. Number 2. Fans have become accustomed to the violence, the injuries, and the pain. In some sports, it can be easy to forget that there is a person inside the helmet. When you can't see their face, it's easier to ignore that the pain and damage is being inflicted on another human being for the sake of entertainment. Researchers at Auburn University conducted MRIs on football fans and non-fans. They showed each participant violent images of football collisions and violent images unrelated to football. The non-fans reacted the same way to the violent images, no matter what the source of the violence was. The football fans had a different reaction. Areas of the brain involved in empathy and the perception of pain were activated in their brains when they saw the violent images unrelated to football. But those regions were not activated when they saw violent football images. The fans may have been desensitized to the violence when it was in the football setting. These findings would likely apply to other sports too. Number 3. Although communicative interaction is the pure essence of negotiation, there is nevertheless a genuine lack of studies that address the discursive and interactional nature of the phenomenon, let alone reproduce and examine transcripts of recordings of negotiation. In addition, remarkably few studies have hitherto been based on real-life instances of negotiation. Studies of simulated encounters predominate. In the majority of existing research, language has been ignored or degraded to the status of a manipulable independent variable, equivalent with, though no more significant than, variables such as the negotiator's behavioral disposition, negotiating tactics, and the disclosure of specific types of information. Where language is made the object of attention, it is most frequently subjected to the dictates and restrictions of categorization and statistical analyses via inductive coding schemes, where many of the interactional and contextual features of negotiation activity are lost. This has resulted in an impoverished view of negotiation as a cultural and interactional phenomenon. Number 4. In the 1970 article, The Uncanny Valley, Masahiro Mori made the case that human beings themselves lie at the final goal of robotics. Mori argues that up to a point, as robots appear more human-like in movement and physical form, human responsiveness to and empathy for the machine increases. However, at a certain point, the positive responsiveness turns to revulsion, the valley. Mori uses the example of the artificial hand designed to look like it has veins, muscles, and fingerprints to describe this valley. This kind of artificial hand is too real, and when we notice it is artificial, there is a sense of strangeness. This is a negative familiarity. Mori's thesis is that as robots are designed to look and move like human beings, the closer the resemblance, the higher the peaks and valleys of the uncanny. That is, the greater the resemblance to humanity, the greater the risk of a deep revulsion toward the machine on the part of the human. Thus, he urges designs that offer a sense of familiarity, but that nonetheless preserve a perceptible difference from the human.